Hello and welcome to another week of the Championship Wrap. I'm Eloise Sawyer and of course I am joined by Andrew Henderson as we wrap up another big week of round 9 of the Championship, and of course we'll be previewing round 5 of the Coral Challenge Cup. Hendo, how was your weekend? A big win for Warrington.
Yeah, fantastic result for us. Really pleased. Again, obviously it was against my old club there, the London Broncos. But yeah, look, they competed hard, and they certainly weren't disgraced in the game. I'm certainly proud of those guys. But yeah, a great result for our boys there. And it'll just be interesting to see where we're at after Friday night against St Helens.
Well, good luck with that one. Let's get cracking on the Championship and all of the games that happened over the weekend. There were some great performances from a lot of the Championship teams. It started with Toronto Wolfpack, which took their home game to the London Scholars. They're up against Sheffield Eagles. Toronto came away with this 40-10 impressive outing for Toronto after they had a week off from the Coral Challenge Cup. So they've sort of regrouped, come back and put 40 points on the board.
Look, I think it was, like you said, a decent performance here from the Wolfpack. I thought Blake Wallace was quite pivotal in a lot of the good things, and he had a really good performance for me. Ricky Latelli as well on that left edge again.
It's really starting to grow that left edge between Matty Russell and...
Yeah, it has been building nicely, but I just think you can see, I think you saw his sort of quality at times there, just his footwork. You could see his NRL quality come to the fore there. But I thought Blake Wallace for me was the standout player for the Wolfpack. But in saying that, I don't think Sheffield were disgraced. I think you could almost argue the scoreline maybe slightly flattered Toronto a little. I thought Sheffield showed such endeavour and spirit and character, and they really stayed in the fight for long periods there. They never went away. I know they sort of held Toronto up over the line on a number of occasions, so you could argue that their scramble defence was really on point on the weekend. Scrambled hard for each other. I couldn't see them ever really winning the game. I felt Toronto were always kind of in control, but they certainly did their best to disrupt and
put up a good fight.
They disrupted the Toronto Wolfpack at times there, but ultimately, the Wolfpack's class showed in the end. But yeah, like I said, a decent game, played in front of a decent crowd there in London, and again, another one of the event games for Toronto that was successful.
Certainly was successful indeed. Up next on Saturday as well was Toulouse Olympique hosted the Featherston Rovers. It was pretty heavy conditions, plenty of rain around, which really affected this game. Came away Toulouse 8, Featherston 2.
Yeah, well, there was actually a huge downpour prior to the game, which clearly affected the game. Now, as we know, Toulouse...
They've had high-scoring games previously.
Absolutely. Well, the south of France is normally renowned for its good weather and a dry track, and Toulouse have been in red-hot form of recent at home, scoring lots of points in abundance. And they play with a very flamboyant approach. They're quite adventurous, they're quite expressive.
They throw the ball around quite a bit.
Absolutely. They play hot, and like you said, it's a very effective style of play for them. So this game... they would have had to adapt their game slightly with the conditions, and I think that's what will please Coach Sylvain Houlays the most, is that games like this, when they've played in these sort of tough conditions previously, they probably would have lost, whereas they've showed real grit. A real grind mentality to come away with that, because from all accounts, both teams had a try disallowed first half. It took a penalty from Ben Reynolds to make it 2-0 at half time. So a really close game. And then second half, Tyler Heppy gets an early try to sort of put Toulouse in front, and then they get a penalty at the end to seal it. So both teams really, I think, will be proud of their defensive effort, because I think both teams defensively were very good on the day, and they had to be because they're both two very good sides. But I think ultimately Toulouse, I think the coach will be pleased the fact that they had to tough that win out. They had to play tough. Obviously they've enjoyed winning by quite healthy margins in recent weeks, and have probably had to go on a lot of the momentum their way, whereas I think on the weekend they were challenged by a very good Featherston side, but had to really grind it out. So well done to the Toulouse Olympique side.
Yeah, certainly is looking pretty positive for them at this stage of the season. This is sort of an upset in my eyes, this next one. Batley Bulldogs 20, Widnes Vikings 18. Widnes, they couldn't take advantage of the playing downhill in the first half, and in the end they come away 2 points short. Yeah,
you're spot on there. This is the result I didn't see coming. So well done, Batley Bulldogs. You've made me eat my words, because I sort of went against.
Second win of the season.
Second win of the season. Really pleasing for Matt Diskin and his team. Obviously, it's the second loss of the season for the Widnes Vikings. They still remain bottom of the table, yet to get a point, obviously, as they've just got themselves now on level points with 0. But yeah, look, I think they'll be disappointed with this. I think they would have gone there with high hopes and expectations to get a result. And again, it just shows the championship. You cannot underestimate any team. I know Batley at home in the past have been renowned for how strong they play at home. Haven't been living up to that expectation this season. However, that's a fantastic result. Is that the result that's going to maybe turn their season around a little bit and give them a little bit of an injection
momentum,
of confidence now moving forward? They've not been in great form, Batley. They've been struggling this season. It's a really pleasing result for them and their fans and their coach. So, yeah, well done, the Batley Bulldogs.
Well, this was our feature game. Let's take a look at all the highlights from the 80 minutes.
The Vikings deep into Bulldog territory. Ball goes out the back now to Lions. To Roby. Shows and goes. And he beats the tackler, Sam Smeaton. That's a great try there for Lloyd Roby. Opens the account for Widnes Vikings. The Bulldogs now. Wide ball now to Dufresne. Looks to kick. Nice high kick there. Really competes. Knocks it back. And is it a try? Yes, it is, I think. I think it's Ward. I think Ward has touched down. The referee just says, has a look at his touch judge. I think Brearley's been deemed to knock it back. And he's awarded the try there. Great response there from the Batley Bulldogs. The Widnes Vikings players are a little bit baffled. Johnson out of dummy half, finds Cale. Nice turn-up play there to Johnson, and he's over! Great try there by Jordan Johnson. It was a neat little turn-up play from Heb Cale, and Johnson crashes over close to the post. Batley now, Leak, short pass to Taylor. He barges his way, and he's over! Great try! That's a fantastic response from the Batley Bulldogs. Look how much it means to Alistair Leak. He punches the air. Widnes now on the attack. Lions out the back now to George Roby. He beats the tackle of Sam Smeaton, and that's twice he's done Smeaton today. That's a poor tackle from him, a man of his calibre. Dufresne goes short side to Brearley. Great little flick pass. Johnny Campbell steps inside. He's over! Oh, what a try from Johnny Campbell. Is this Batley's day? And the dying seconds are coming up, and that's it, full time. What a win for the Batley Bulldogs at home. Dave Scott's penalty, 3 minutes of time, seals victory.
Up next, Bradford Bulls 20, Dewsbury Rams 12. You actually commentated this one there. You saw the full 80 minutes. This is a pretty exciting game.
Yeah, I had the pleasure of being at Odsal on the weekend, and it was a great game. It really was. I think, Dewsbury really came out the blocks. I thought they were the better of the teams in the first half. Bradford obviously were decent there. Elliot Minchella was a decent performer. I thought Sam Hallis was really industrious for the Bulls. And I thought Kyle Trout stood up well for the Dewsbury Rams yesterday as well. So, look, I said, it was a really good game. And a pivotal game too for both teams, because for Bradford, they had to win that game to keep them sort of pushing with the top end of the table. Dewsbury wanted to get that result to sort of push away further from the bottom end. So that's kind of brought Dewsbury back down to that mixer now with Batley and Rochdale and Swinton. Bradford are now obviously up there challenging with the better team, so good stuff. Good
stuff for them indeed. Next was Lee Centurions 46, Barrow 30. For Barrow, this is a good confidence boost. I know they came away with the loss, but to put 30 points, that's got to give them some sort of confidence at this point of the season.
Yeah, you could say that, Eloise. I mean, 30 points, really, you should be winning a game. But in saying that, I think actually the scoreline probably wasn't a reflection of the game, albeit it says there that it was quite a close contest. I think, by all accounts,
Lee Centurions were in control.
They were pretty dominant there from start to finish. I know, I think it was 22 points to 2 after sort of 34 minutes. Barrow got a late try before half time to sort of inject a bit of life back into them. But then second half, Lee just again kicked on another level, another gear, and extended the lead to 46 points to 18 with literally 5 or 6 minutes to go. And 2 late tries from Barrow made the scoreline a little bit closer and a bit more respectable. A decent result for the Centurions after their fantastic Challenge Cup win last week against Sheffield. They've come back with a back-to-back win. So
positive signs.
Yep.
Up next, Rochdale 24, Halifax 48. Halifax obviously visiting. The visitors for this game was pretty impressive to put 48 points, and they've had a little bit of an up and down the last couple of weeks for Halifax, so certainly sort of get the momentum building here.
Encouraging signs for Halifax is probably what I should say, because I think when you look at, like you said, on reflection this season, they have been a little bit indifferent at times, and
not consistent each week.
Yeah, their performance levels probably haven't been consistent enough over the course of things. However, like you said, I think that second half performance from them is hopefully will give them a lot of confidence now going into the Challenge Cup against London this week, because I think by all rights, Rochdale competed hard. They were in the fight. It was 22 points to 18 at half time. However, then once Halifax got into their groove, they got it. They really started to take control, put Rochdale under a lot of pressure, and obviously, like I said, run away with it in the end and convincing winners in the end. So I think Coach Marsh will be pleased with that second half performance, the way they went about their business. Some impressive performances there on the day from their players, and hopefully they can now take that that form from that second half
into the Challenge Cup.
Because they're going to have to play very well against a very good London side this week in the Coral Challenge Cup.
They certainly will do indeed. And last but not least, York City Knights 30, Swinton Lions 20. Impressive from York City Knights. Yep. They actually, their modern club record of 6 wins in the Betfred Championship. So they sort of are that team that's the underdog at the moment. They're just going through.
They are the dark horse, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're just kind of going under the radar.
Going about their business and coming away with impressive performances.
Absolutely, Eloise. And like you said, for a side that's been newly promoted from League One, I think they have. They've gone about their business really well. I felt they've recruited well in the close season. We've spoke about them previously, about the things they're doing on and off the field. I think even on the scoreline, that's another game where the scoreline probably suggests it was closer than it was. I think York were in control for large parts of that game. I think they extended their lead at 1 point to 22 points to 4. So they were pretty much from start to end, they were in control of the game. But take nothing away from Swinton. And we've spoke about them. They've got a lot of spirit, a lot of endeavour, a lot of character. It's a tough place to go at York at the moment. They're the team that's in pretty decent form, playing consistently well. So again, like you said, to achieve that record too for them as a club, it's a fantastic weekend for the York City Knights.
All right, well, this weekend, of course, is round 5 of the Challenge Cup. For some teams in the Championship, of course, that means they get a week off. And for others, they'll be going head-to-head. Let's take a look at the fixtures now. It starts on Thursday night. Hendo, this is an exciting one. Start off Halifax, London, and Hull KR.
Yeah, 2 great games there. Halifax against London. Like I said there, Halifax, I think, will be buoyed off the back of that second half performance at Rochdale. They'll be keen to hopefully, kick on there against a very good London side. London will go in as favourites, obviously being the Super League side, but hey, you never know. Even back in the time when I was involved with London, always had tough contests against Halifax. I expect no different on the weekend. Hull Kingston Rovers hosting the Leigh Centurions. I mean, Leigh have been in reasonable form this year. I mean, they proved last week against Sheffield without their dual region loanees. They still were able to perform well as a group and as a team. I think they'll go there with nothing to lose. Hull Kingston Rovers, performing reasonably okay in the Super League at the moment, coming off a back of a great result against the Leeds Rhinos last week. They'll be full of confidence at home. Will be expected to win, but I believe Leigh have got some players in there that can certainly cause Hull KR problems. So they need to respect them and be professional and disciplined in their performance. But I expect the Hull Kingston Rovers win there against the Centurions, but not through a tough contest.
Yeah, so on the Friday, got Salford hosting Rochdale. Of course, that'll be an interesting one for Rochdale. They certainly get to challenge themselves. As for Salford, well, they're coming off a couple of losses at the moment. So you'd hope that they'd probably get some confidence boost before they go and play up against Warrington and also then into Wigan. Should be an exciting one for them. But on Saturday, got Widnes Vikings up against York City Knights. That's an exciting matchup.
That's a good one. An all-championship tie. So, it's great for one of those clubs. They're going to progress now to the next round against the big boys. So, I think both clubs will be excited for that opportunity to present itself. But again, they're going to have to take care of each other on that day, on the Saturday. But Widnes at home, they'll be looking for a response, obviously, after the disappointment of losing to Batley. And they'll be looking for a big cup run with Widnes, obviously, to try and bring a bit of money more into the club. However, the York City Knights, they'll have their own motivations for this week, won't they? To go to Widnes, to upset the apple cart, and like I said, get the opportunity to go and play against the big boys. And perhaps, in the way York are doing things at the moment off the field, they'd love to host a Super League club or a big Super League club at their place to bring a big travelling support and create a big atmosphere, carnival atmosphere day. It'd be fantastic. So, I hope both teams. I wish them both well. Who do I see winning this one? God, it's a tough one.
I'm going to say York City Knights for me.
I'd normally say. Well, I've got to stick with my old mate with the camera. I'm going to go against him. I'm going to say Widnes Vikings result this week, and hopefully for
Joe's sake,
York will be going through to round 6. But no, I think Widnes will bounce back this week. I think they'll be determined to prove a point and prove that last week's performance against Batley was just a one-off. But in saying that, you can't underestimate York. They are playing really, really well at the moment. It's going to be a cracking game. Really, really good game.
Certainly will be. And on Sunday, of course, Bradford up against Featherston, Doncaster, Batley and Thaddeus Heath, Dewsbury. Bradford, Featherston, this will be another great matchup. Another great all-championship tie. Both teams, Bradford now want to start to build some continuity. They've had a couple of decent results in the last couple of weeks, so they want to keep building on that. Obviously, a great result against Leigh recently. Obviously, then backed up with a good result there against Dewsbury, and they obviously had the Challenge Cup win against Keighley sandwiched in between that. So they've had 3 on the bounce now. They'll be looking for another one there to keep building that momentum. I looked at Bradford fixtures coming into the championship in the next coming weeks. They've got some real winnable games there. So there's a real opportunity for Bradford now to get on a real roll here and build some real momentum moving forward. So, but it's going to be a tough ask against a Featherston side who, by all means, had a really good performance away, albeit they lost at Toulouse, but performed really, really admirably. And they'll be hungry, I think, to try and get a result. So I think they play
played each other early in the championship season. It was a 1 point difference in that game. I think in round 1 or 2 they met each other. Featherstone lost out to Bradford that day by a point. So, you know, it's got all the ingredients to be a real classic cup tie. And once again, both teams will be hungry to progress to round 6 to step up and match one of the big boys. So, yeah, a tough one to call there, but I'm actually thinking Bradford will get the spoils in this one. I'm
going to go with you as well and take a Bradford win there. But plenty happening this weekend. Some great matchups right across the park, so make sure you get out and see some rugby leagues and plenty of entertainment coming your way. And of course, we will be back next week to preview round 10 of the championship and go over all of the results from round 5 in the Coral Challenge Cup.